Friends, welcome to Biology Made Easy. Today in this video we'll discuss about the radioactive waste. So what is this radioactivity? Now radioactivity means there are certain compounds like that is you can tell the uranium, radium, thorium. These are the different elements. They emit energy, and that emission of this from these elements in the form of protons, or we can tell alpha rays, or electrons, that is beta rays, or we can tell that is also gamma rays. So these substances usually they emit these protons, electrons and gamma rays, which is known as radioactive. Now what is the importance of this thing? So when the substance they disintegrate due to nuclear fission, they emit energy. And that radioactive, the main purpose of this radioactivity was to generate electricity. So initially it was thought that it is very good, it is it will not cause any pollution. But later it is found that equally like all other the air, water pollution, it is also equally, it is very dangerous to the human beings as well as the entire living organism. So let us have a brief discussion about this radioactive waste. The radioactive waste, they can be classified into two types. They may be natural, or it may be even man-made. So it may be what is natural radiation. So natural radiation, usually in the nature, always there are certain types of radiations coming from this space. For example, you take the case of cosmic ray. So the cosmic ray is always coming from the space, and always we are exposed to this cosmic ray. Similarly, there is also the terrestrial radiation, and the terrestrial radiation usually it includes like radium 224, then uranium 235, then thorium 252, 232, then that is potassium 40 and carbon 14. These are the different types of terrestrial radiations and cosmic ray, they are coming, and always we are exposed to this, but they do not cause much harm. Then we see no harm. Almost we can tell that is the no harm, because from our throughout lifetime we are exposed to these things. Now come to the second one is man-made radiation. So in this man-made radiation, how these radiations they come? Usually the radiations come from this mining and refining of these different types of elements. When the different types of elements like uranium, radium, thorium, strontium, they are the mining and refining process. That means during the mining and refining of plutonium, thorium, then also we get it from atomic explosion, then atomic reactors, and nuclear fuel. So from all these sources, these are all man-made sources. So from this also we can get the radioactive substances. Now this man-made radiation, so we can discuss it in a stepwise manner. So Let us take a first case, that is atomic explosion. Atomic explosion. So you might have heard, or this is also known as nuclear fallout. Nuclear fallout. So you must have heard the that is name of Nagasaki and Hiroshima of Japan. So the first atomic bomb was there in Nagasaki, and the second one is in Hiroshima. Both of them belong to Japan. So as a result of this atomic explosion, thousands of people died. Even that is the defect. It's so dangerous that even if people are suffering from this atomic explosion. So this is one of the cases of that is the atomic explosion. And here also we can give some examples. That is iodine 131. Usually it damages the white blood corpuscles. That is one important. Then it causes the damages bone marrow. Then the spleen, and also lung tumors, skin cancer. These are the different types of defects are caused by iodine 131. Similarly, if you take the case of strontium 90, it usually causes mostly the cancer in bone. So this is the example of atomic explosion and the harm that is caused by these substances. Now let us take the second case. The second is atomic reactors. Atomic reactors. So usually the different types of substances, like take the case of uranium 235. So this is used as a fuel for generation of electricity, so that the turbine will be rotate, and that will generate electricity. But sometimes in these atomic reactors, sometimes certain accidents occur, releasing a lot of radiations. Now let us take two examples. So the first example will take that of the 3 Mile Island. The first example, number 1, is 3 Mile Island, present in Pennsylvania, USA. So in this atomic reactor, this happened during that is 1979. In 1979 this occurred. Simply due to human error, a valve was lost, and due to simple this valve, a lot of radioactivity came out. But since it is an island and there is no much population, the loss was less. But this is a case of this 3 Mile Island is a case where there is the atomic reactor was out of its own functioning. This is one case. Now let's take the second case, example number 2. And the example number 2, this is the Chernobyl in Soviet Union, and it occurred in 1986. In this case, what happened? The water system, which is given to cool the atomic reactors, there are some defect in that system of supplying. As a result, the uranium which was present, its temperature increased to 3000 degrees centigrade, and the uranium started melting. And a lot of radiations were out, the radioactive radiations came out. As a result, nearly you can tell that is 30 people died and 231 people, they were seriously ill, and the vegetation up to 7 kilometer radius was completely destroyed. Besides, there are some, these are the major serious problems, but other problems, some minor problems are also there. So this is the case of both, this is 3 Mile Island and Chernobyl. Their examples are cited throughout the world because these are the major defects in the reactors. Then we can take the third case. The third case, we can take these radioactive isotopes. Radioactive isotopes. Now, usually in different types of experiments, the scientists, they use there is isotopic carbon and also isotopic phosphorus. These are the different radioactive isotopes used to trace a particular that is element. Suppose how the carbon is entering into this photosynthetic cycle, that is Melville Calvin worked on that. And whether the oxygen is liberated from water or carbon dioxide, all the experiments were used through radioactive isotopes. And during this, the human beings, the scientists, they are exposed to it. So this is one case. Then the fourth case is radiation therapy. So in radiation therapy, usually the cancer patient, they are subject to this radiation therapy. So that is also one of the problems. Then the another is this ionizing radiations. Now the ionizing radiations we can categorize into two types. One is the non-ionizing and the other is ionizing. Now the non-ionizing example is UV rays. UV rays, they are usually non-ionizing, but if continuously will be exposed to one person, it will lead to skin cancer. And another important defect is there will be breaks in the DNA breaks. So these are the two. But in case of ionizing radiations, the ionizing radiations, they may be there usually X-rays, gamma rays. These are the usually for diagnosis of the internal system of human body. This X-rays always applied so that we can see the internal photograph. So that is also case of radiation. And the gamma rays, usually the most of the research fellows, scientists, they use gamma rays for inducing mutation in plants, and thereby they are also subjected to it. So these are the different types of these radioactive waste and what are the harm caused by them. Now, how it can be controlled? That means what is the control measure? So we will discuss the control measures. Now one of the control measures is the first important is prevention of leakage. Prevention of leakage. That means both in case of Chernobyl and the 3 Mile Island, we have seen that the radioactive isotopes are leaked. So we have to see, we have to take all the prevention measures that there should not be any leakage. Then the second one is that the level of radiation should be regularly checked. Whether there is actually leakage or not, that should be constantly checked. That is one type of control. The third one is the workers who are working on this different types of reactors, they should be protected. They should have protective garments. They should have protective garments along with in the head. There should be protection. And the fourth important thing is the radioactive waste should be buried 500 meters below the earth's surface, or it may be below certain hills or within the sea. That is again important. The radioactive waste should be buried in 500 meter depth below a hill or within sea. So it may be either the hill or it may be sea, but below 500 meter it should be completely buried so that there will be no exposure to it. So these are the different ideas regarding the radioactive waste. Now let us discuss one question. So one question we will discuss, that is which of the following following method is the most suitable for disposal of nuclear waste? First choice, bury the waste within rocks deep in the earth's surface. This is one choice. The second choice, shoot the waste into space. The third choice, bury the waste under Antarctica ice cover. And the fourth choice is dump the waste within ocean. And this question was asked in NEET 2019. So now we have discussed very briefly about the radioactive waste, what is the harm and how it can be controlled. I hope your idea is clear about the radioactive waste. Thank you very much. Wish you a very bright future. God bless you. Have a good day.